I wasn't really sure what to expect. I talked to my franchisor, Jason, about it. He was telling me that winter was one of the quietest winters they've ever had. So he was like, I'm not sure how the leads are going to be. But yeah, they just kept coming in from 7 a.m. on the Monday. And I was like, all right, I'm just going to do what Jim told me to do.
And how'd you go up doing the first quotes?
I spent 5 days out on the field with Jason before the training. I went out with him while he did quotes, so I sort of got a feel of it. And I had a rough sort of guideline on what I was going to do quoting-wise, so I just sort of stuck with that.
How's it married up to what you thought it would be?
Oh, yeah, more. Amazed, really. Jason told me it was quiet. Watched a lot of videos and at training and stuff. They're like, you can't rely on the leads. You got to build the business. And I was going into it thinking that way. I'm like, all right, I'm going to do this. I'm just going to build it up if it's quiet. But really, I haven't had to do too much.
So welcome to the Jim's Mowing and Jim's Group podcast. And we've got Michael from the ACT. And I don't think you've been going for 2 months. And Jim just sends a 30-day email and you responded to it with your success so far. It was like, fantastic, let's get you on. And seeing your face now, I remember you because we sat down together at the lunch one of the days in training, and I think you were working in government roles in Canberra and doing things like that, and then you've decided to throw your hand into this. So I'm really happy to see how happy you are now, knowing who it was. I just saw the name, I didn't know who the person was, so I do remember you. So let's jump on first, Michael, with how's everything been going?
Yeah, well, like I said in my email, I've just been thoroughly impressed with how things have gone. I was a little apprehensive. I didn't know really what I was getting myself into when I decided to take the venture. But yeah, it's worked out really well. Inundated with work. Yeah,
you're flying.
Yeah,
you're flying. You seem very happy because I remember you from training and we had a good chat and you could see you're taking everything all in. But there was probably a little bit of fear still. It's not an easy thing to do what you've done, right? So let's just go right. You've gone from training now. You're back in the business for the first week. How was your first day and your first week overall?
So my first week, my first day, I had one job, but 7, 8 leads or something, I was pretty taken back. I was like, wow, okay, right into it. But I fell on a cactus.
Fell on a cactus? Yeah. What happened there?
Just wasn't paying attention. I had to go over and do a bit of a rubbish cleanup at this young lady's place because she was having a house inspection the next day. Got out there. Didn't have my actual gym's trailer at the time. Still waiting for that to get built, but I'd borrowed my dad's small trailer. I had a little accident there, but got out there and did it. She was happy and I was happy. It was pretty good. Then this Tuesday, my car didn't start. But other than those two hiccups, it's been going pretty well.
And then you mentioned 7 or 8 leads in your first day. Let's talk about that because that's probably a scary thing for people is they get their first lead. They don't know what I say on the phone or quoting, all that sort of stuff. So do you want to talk through that process?
Yeah, well, I wasn't really sure what to expect, right? Because I talked to my franchisor, Jason, about it. He was telling me that winter was one of the quietest winters they've ever had really this year. So he was like, I'm not sure how the leads are going to be. I was like, all right, well, if it's slow, it's slow. That'll be easy. But yeah, they just kept coming in from 7 a.m. on the Monday. And I was like, all right, I'm just going to do what Jim told me to do. Call them in 2 minutes and I'll just see what happens. So yeah, they came in. I called them as soon as I could. I just tried to start scheduling it in.
And how'd you go up doing the first quotes? Did you go and do on-site quotes for everyone or what did you do there?
Yeah, I did. I was getting out there. Just make sure I knew, could see what was going on.
Now, did you use Jason to help you with that, or did you just have a crack yourself with the pricing?
Oh well, so I spent 5 days out on the field with Jason before the training. I went out with him while he did quotes, so I sort of got a feel of it, and I had a rough sort of guideline on what I was going to do quoting wise. So I just sort of stuck with that. Yeah,
awesome. Now, you haven't been going for 2 months yet, so how busy have you been overall? Is every day full, or you got a job at least every day, or how's it panning out?
Yeah, so my leads have been off for 3 weeks now.
Really?
Yeah. Well, because I bought some clients of another franchisee as well, and we're sort of in the middle of our handover period right now. So I've tried to schedule those jobs in with my pre-existing ones because I think I have 25 regulars now. That's sort of a mix of fortnightly and monthly. Yep. I've got 4 young kids. I do pick up and drop off, every sort of second day and whatnot. And so, yeah, scheduling in the jobs between that and then taking these new ones on, I'm flat chat. Yeah.
But you're enjoying it, obviously.
Yeah, I am. I love it. It's getting me out. The physical side of it's great. It's been difficult, getting used to it all. But yeah, I love it.
Yeah, because before were you doing an office job predominantly or were you?
Yeah.
Sitting down mainly. Yeah. So you've got that. Yeah. Big change from that. So how's the body holding up? Because you've alluded to it before. It can be quite an adjustment with using a lot of muscles you might not have known you had, and getting used to that physical side of it. So you're nearly at the 2-month period, which is when I interview people, they generally say around 8 weeks is generally when they get a bit used to it.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Yeah, like I've been like crashing when I'm coming home, going to bed at like 9 p.m. And like I've just been out of it. Yeah, muscles aching from hedging. I'm doing so much hedging at the moment, and it's hard holding that thing.
Yep.
Like for hours on hours.
Are you using a battery or using a petrol one?
Battery. Yeah. I mainly got battery gear.
And you do hours of hedging in a day?
It's like it's rough. It can be rough.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the key to doing a good hedge? Because I love seeing the hedge videos and photos of franchisees. So how have you been going with that?
Like I don't know. It's all sort of been a learning curve for me, but like I just stand back and look at it every like 10 minutes or whatever. I'm like, okay, am I cutting this thing straight or am I not? And then I'll go back and I'll readjust.
So you mentioned hedging there. You mentioned a bit of cleanups before. What type of jobs have you been doing so far?
Oh, I'm doing everything. Like, yeah, I'm doing mowing, gardening, rubbish removals, a lot of weeding, but yeah, a lot of hedging in Canberra this time of year. Like
everyone's got hedges.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it should be Jim's hedging because it's just yeah, it's like it's everywhere. And
do you like doing the hedging work, even though you're doing a lot of it? It's hard, but do you like them?
I like it. Yeah. Like I sort of like it before I start doing it, and then by the end of the day, I'm like, I'm done with this. And then, but it's good because like the following day, I can just be mowing or whatever. I get a bit of a break, and then I'll have a hedging job. Yeah,
back to hedging.
Yeah. So.
And you've got a perfect 5-star rating so far, which is great to see. Because we do a lot of stuff in social, and you always have independents jumping on saying this and that or whatever. So what do you think from being a gym now is the difference with your service compared to maybe others?
Oh yeah, look, I don't know. I think one of my strengths is just like I'm a people person. I feel like I'm pretty approachable. I'm happy to have a chat. I think that's just being reflected in my reviews with my clients because I'm not the greatest at selling myself, but they've all pretty much told me that they'd be happy to have me back. And they have. They've scheduled me in fortnightly and they're contacting me now to do more work. So, yeah.
The old selling by not selling then. Selling
I do try, but it's not really I'm not a natural salesman,
Yeah.
But it's just sort of happening naturally. So
good. And what about from the training experience? Obviously, you do the 2-day down here, and then you do the extra mowing component. What have been the things you've taken from training into your business that have sort of gone, oh, yep, they said that in training, and you've applied it in your business?
Yeah, well, there was a lot in training. I think it was the 5 nights I was down there for. But just the customer service, like they ring that into you, like Jim's there. Yeah, like I think it's just about being upfront and honest. Yeah, getting back to people, Yeah. Yeah, and like I think where I think you talked about it too, but contacting these clients like as soon as possible, so you can you make sure you get the job. I think I've converted like I don't know the exact number, but it would be most of the leads that I've.
Really? Yeah, I should have asked you that question. Yeah, because you reckon every time a lead comes within 2 minutes, you're literally calling him straight away.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Yeah. And do they say, geez, that was quick, or do you expect you to call so quick? Or
no, they do. They've been like, oh wow, you're on the ball, and I'm like, yeah, I want the job.
I guarantee you've won all those jobs as well. Yeah,
I have. Yeah, I have. I think there's been a couple where they've wanted it done on the day, and I'm like, oh, sorry, I can't do it, and I've lost those ones. But yeah, the majority.
It seems like it's a basic thing, and most small businesses are going, oh yeah, we all do that. But from what I know, a lot of people don't. Yeah, outside of gyms. So you would have used independent tradies before as well. Have you sort of been comparing yourself maybe then to some other experiences you've had? Because I think getting a call back just for within 2 minutes is a big thing.
Yeah, well, I try and do the best job I can. I try and like clean up after myself, make sure everything looks good. I'm pretty like I don't know if I'm a perfectionist or not. It could be because of my ADHD, but yeah, I like things looking really good. I think that's why this job appeals to me. Like I can do a good job and make it look good and, clean up after myself with a blower and yeah, they're really happy by the end of it.
Well, I was going to say, get a bit of job satisfaction because you can actually see the result of what you're doing, right? Whereas you're working an office job, you don't know sometimes what's the point of this thing, right? And you don't see an outcome for a long time.
Yeah, no, 100%. And that was one of the big factors for me for doing a job like this. Yeah. You can get rewarded for it right away, pretty much.
And you mentioned dropping the kids off, which is sounds like it's something that was really important to you. So how's that been doing that?
Yeah, great. It's a bit awkward finding a park with the trailer some mornings. But I'm rounding it out. Yeah, the lights are right. Yeah, it is great. Yeah.
And what do your kids think about what you're doing now?
Oh, they love it. They love it. I've got photos of them climbing on the trailer. They've come out to the tip with me a few times. They love looking at the tools.
And what about your partner? What do they think about it?
Yeah, Billy, she's been really supportive.
Yeah.
I think, I probably wouldn't have been able to take this leap without her encouragement. She really sort of pushed me to do it, and she's been great. She's been, walking around the suburb, like handing out flyers and really cards for me. Yeah.
I love hearing that, because sometimes it's the other way around, where the husband wants to do it, or maybe the wife wants to do it, and the other one's just, they're very fearful about, you've got a nice wage or whatever it is, and we don't know what you're going to do. I was going to say then, Michael, as well, with the business so far, what equipment are you using in terms of the brands, and what have you gone for?
Well, when I heard about the 17% discount with the steel gear that the gyms guys get, I just went with that. I went to the local mower shop down here and just went ahead. They recommended everything
good
for me, and hooked me up.
Awesome. Now with your business now as well, like what do you hope to do with the business? You got 25 regs. You're getting a hang of it. Like, do you have a goal? Like, you want to get to 100 regs by a certain time, or what's your sort of plan with what you want to do?
Oh, I mean, I think like my goal was it wasn't like, looking back, I set myself a goal of, look, I just want to make $350 a day.
Right. And you've achieved that goal?
Well, yeah. I have. But on hindsight, I'm like, wow, that was, it wasn't really much. I just didn't know what I was getting myself into,
Yeah.
But I could see myself, like growing this pretty easily, and definitely bringing someone else on board, if that's a mate or, someone with a bit more experience. Yeah. But, for right now, I just sort of want to focus on myself. Like, I've still got a lot to learn, with that guy. I want to do like a horticultural course. Yeah. Get better with the tools and things like that. So as long as I'm making enough to sort of get by, I'm happy right now. Yeah.
So you've been happy money-wise, you've been happy with the first couple of months you've been doing so far?
Yeah. I'm making as much or if maybe more than what I was earning in my
already
gig. Yeah.
That's great. That'd be great, because, less than two months, you can, replace your income pretty much with your own business is a really good thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, I just sort of started turning down work. That's why I had to turn the leads off. Yeah. Because my schedule's full. But
that's great.
Yeah. But, I was taking every lead and job I could for that first month. So
has it married up to the expectations of what you had? Because I remember speaking to you down in training, you've done a bit of research and things. So has it married up to what you thought it would be?
Oh, yeah, more.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just, amazed, really. Like, I didn't really think. Jason told me it was quiet. There weren't much leads coming in. I was like,
downplayed it a bit.
Yeah. And but like, I'd watched a lot of videos and at training and stuff. They're like, you can't rely on the leads. Like, you got to build the business. And I was going into it thinking that way. I'm like, all right, I'm going to do this. I'm just going to build it up if it's quiet, and that's fine. Like, but really, I haven't had to do too much.
Well, that's good to hear. And I'm sure, because like my question was going to be then, well, what have you done to build it up? But from the sounds of it, you're just literally doing really good customer service. That's been enough so far.
Yeah, that's right. And like, I would love to do more. I'd love to get into the social media side of it. And
cool.
Yeah, but I don't know, just finding the time to do it all.
Well, you got 4 kids and business now, so it's not much time. And I was going to say as well, then you mentioned Jason a few times. So Jason's your franchisor. For those who don't know, franchisors are there to support and guide you and give you mentorship. And you did 5 days before coming here, which I think is a really good thing to do. So what's the support been like? What type of questions do you ask your franchisor, and how's that been?
Like, so Jason's been calling me every week since I started, but like from the get-go too, I set the inquiry off online and he called me like the next day, or it might have been the same day. And I was just like, look, can I come out? And he's like, oh, look, I think you might be jumping the gun. Do you want to, I can send you some info. I was like, look, I just want to come out and see if you're enjoying it. He's like, all right, well, come out with me. It might have been the next day or something, but I came out with him, and then we sort of just went from there. Yeah. So he's been calling me. I just ask him everything, I call him to get stuff off my chest if I've had a hard day or whatever, and he's happy to listen, but just everything when it comes to the tools and how do I do something. Yeah, he's been great.
That's great to hear. And what's been the most challenging thing for you doing this so far? What have been some challenges?
It's probably the scheduling
Right.
at all and balancing the quoting and doing the work. Yeah, like finding a formula to make all that work. Like I'm still trying to work it out, you know, and now that I've got the work turned off, it's a little easier. But yeah, sort of balancing all that. Like think I said to Jason, I haven't had to really be this organized at all in my life. Like it's just like,
Yeah. Okay. Well, so are you using Jim's Jobs, or what do you use to help you manage that, or what's your system?
I'm using Jimbo, the newer app. Yeah.
Good.
And it's working fine for me at the moment. I've got Xero, got it hooked up to Xero. And so, yeah, it's working well enough for me.
Awesome. Now, being a business owner now, like how, like you've obviously adapted it to it very well. But there is a moment where you go from employee to business owner mindset. So has there been anything you sort of learned in regards to that?
I think about it every day. It's kind of a bit surreal still. I'm like, oh, I have my own business. Like I used to think about it for years, right? You know, sitting in the office, not really enjoying what I was doing. I didn't think I could do it.
Why didn't you think you could do it? What was the thing? Because you're working in probably a capable role. And this is the thing, right? Your job you're probably doing was pretty high. Why didn't you think you were capable?
I think it's a lot of things. You know, I mentioned to you that I have ADHD. A trait with that is I don't have much confidence in myself. A lot of anxiety around things. I just felt like it felt a bit unachievable. And the commitment to, you know, the money, like it's a bit scary. So I just kept putting it off. But you know, I got to a point where I was like, well, look, something has to change. And this felt like a really great way to sort of step into becoming like owning your own business, because of all the support and training you get. It just felt, and like the work, I felt I could do it.
Yeah.
You know? So it felt like the right opportunity for me, and it has been. Yeah,
that's great to hear. Now, I'm really like, I think the confidence. A lot of people don't have the confidence to do it, but they absolutely do. It's just a matter of as we always say, taking the leap, and it can sound like it's a pretty big decision for people. But what's been the scariest thing for the whole journey for you? Was it actually quitting the job, or was it coming to training? What was the actual hardest thing?
Quitting was easy. Yeah, I think just knowing that it's sort of all on me now. You know, it sort of looms all over me. But yeah, like, and well, going to training, I was like, God, you know, is this the right thing to do? I mentioned on the bus ride to the facility, like how scared I was. I was like, yeah, this is pretty scary, you know. But and a lot of the other people in the bus sort of, you know, they were like, you said you're scared, like I'm scared too. I'm like, yeah.
But you know, I love hearing that, because that's a natural and good, I think, reaction to have. You know, if people rock up thinking, oh, it's going to be easy and all that sort of stuff. But I think there's obviously, you know, as much content we put out online, still actually doing it's one thing as opposed to, you know, thinking about it, right? So that's good to know. What about new franchisees, Michael? Anyone becoming a new franchisee, mowing in particular, what would you sort of advise them or say to them about doing it?
You know, I watched the videos online on the website, and I pretty much followed the formula. You know, I called, I sent the inquiry in, I went out and spent time with my franchisor and the franchisees to get that experience, to make sure, you know, I knew I would enjoy it. And like, I just say that really, like, you know, you guys know what you're doing, and you're telling us to do it so we succeed. And so I just recommend following the formula.
It sounds basic, isn't it? But I hear that all the time. People just say follow the system, and it sounds a bit cliche, but it's true. And I think that's the key, right? And credit to yourself for doing the 5 days with Jason, because I think doing the observation day as quick as you can, as opposed to reading things, I think is a really good way to actually get the true picture. Yeah,
I learn on the job, you know, I learn by doing. So I had to get out there, and I spent a few days with some other franchisees as well. Yeah. So I just made sure I really got exposed and was like, yeah, I can do this.
Well, then what about the technical side of it? Because I didn't ask you that, but because obviously at training we don't teach you literally how to use the brush cutter or trailer and stuff, but we don't have 20 brush cutters on the lawn and people are doing the edges here, right? So technical side of it, how did you go with that?
Yeah, well, you know, I'm talking to, like, Jason helps me a bit with it, but also the guys at the lawn mowing center. You know, I went in there, I didn't understand how the choke. You know, I bought a petrol snipper and blah. I didn't understand how the choke actually doesn't work. And I was like, what does this do? How does it work? And I was like, I don't understand. You know, I'm pulling the cord, trying to get this thing started. And they sort of walked me through it. So I'm just, you know, I'm open as I can. If I don't know something, I'll just ask. Yeah.
And then the actual doing the skills themselves now, Michael, like learning about different, you know, plant varieties and things like that. How have you been going with that in the field?
Yeah, pretty good. I use AI quite a bit. I've got this app called Picture This. You know, you take a photo of the plant and it tells you all about it. It tells you like what time of year you should prune it and what type of fertilizer. And it's like gives you all the info.
Awesome.
And yeah, GPT and stuff. Like this is stuff that you talked about in training.
Oh, good. You're using it. Oh, good.
Yeah, I am. I'm using it to help me do quotes.
How do you use it for quotes? Because I love to hear about this from talking training. So how are you using it for your quoting process?
Yeah, so one example, I got a lead a few weeks ago, and a guy wanted me to build a garden bed for him. And this is something I've never done. I've never thought about doing in my life. So I was like, all right, leave it with me. And I took my measurements and I'll get back to you. And I just I punched it into Chat GPT. I was like, hey, Chat GPT. I always say hello to it. I don't know why.
That's a good. Well, I do it the same thing. If AI takes over, they can look at your chat history and whether you're nice to it or not.
That's what I say.
And help. Yeah.
But I just said, like, I'm a Jim's Mowing franchisee. I need to build a garden bed, like, 8 meters by 2 meters long, out of treated pine. Can you give me a rough quote with like using materials from Bunnings in Canberra, for instance?
Well,
and it just worked out the whole thing for me.
And you learned that quote what it gave you?
Yeah, I might have upped the price a little bit.
The price a little bit. Yeah, I think ChatGPT does underquote, which is true.
Okay, that's interesting.
I think it does underquote because you've got to give it. What I recommend you could do is you can have a project folder and you can upload previous quotes that you've done into that project folder. So you can give it examples of what you've previously done, and then it can use those numbers to then estimate moving forward. Yeah. So you could try that. Yeah, but it underquoted a bit, so you obviously upped it up, which is yeah.
I did, and then I sent him back the quote, and he wanted some hedging done,
right?
Like every other Canberran, and mowing and weeding. He wanted a whole bunch of stuff done. So I gave him this huge quote, and I was like, well, I don't know if he'll accept this, and if he doesn't, I was happy because I've got a lot of work on.
Yeah,
but he accepted it, so I've got to schedule it in.
AI assistant quoting, great. So that actually did it give you the line items of the scope of works, and then what did it actually give you?
Yeah, it gave me options for materials and then like a price range, and then it also chucked in a rough estimate for labor. Yeah, it broke it all down for me.
Cool. But what you did is you gave it a background to Jim's Mowing franchisee. He's told to go to Bunnings, which is great. You gave it the measurements, and then it gave you a pretty at least it's a helper in a way, like a guideline.
Yeah.
And how else have you been using? Because it's good to hear from quoting. Have you used it for like image generation for quotes or anything else? Or
no, I haven't. I've tried to use it to sort of help me schedule my day. So I could work out like which suburb to go to first.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So, what information are you giving it? Are you taking like a screenshot of your diary, or are you giving it an export of Excel and putting it in there, or what do you do?
Yeah. So I worked out. I did sort of a rough schedule in Excel, and I wrote sort of my available work times, and then I sort of have all my regulars in there and how long they take me and where they are, and I just sort of asked ChatGPT to sort it for me.
And how did it do it?
It took a few tries because it had trouble reading it. But yeah, it slotted them in and it spat an Excel sheet back out to me. And I sort of had to fix it a little bit, but it gave me, it helped a lot. It
did help a lot. Oh, good. Yeah. I'm glad to hear that. So I'm really happy to hear that because I think that's a good tool to use. A lot of franchisees probably aren't using it or too scared to try it. So I'm glad to hear that you're using it and it's helping a bit.
Oh, it's been great. Yeah.
But what you could do, Michael, is you can upload, if you have like, let's say, previous quotes that you've done and you're okay with putting that into it, you can actually upload those PDFs into like a project file. You can actually upload, I think, up to 20 files. And then you can say, based on my previous hedging quotes, for example, this is the job. Can you give me an estimate based on that? Or you could actually even take a photo of the job itself, upload it into the ChatGPT directly and say, based on my previous hedging quotes, can you look at the photo and give me an estimate based on what I've done? I don't know how good it will do, but that's an idea which you could maybe try.
Yeah, no, I did actually. Yeah, another thing was I did that. I uploaded a photo of the area that a client wanted me to re-turf.
Awesome. How did it go?
It did. It got the estimated the measurements way really wrong.
Way wrong.
Right. Okay. But I took those and I said no, it's this amount, and then it did the same thing. It looked at local pricings for turf and then just spat it all out.
Well, I think that's the thing, Michael. Like it still gets things wrong a lot of the time, but if you can use it as a idea generation or to help you with some of the legwork, as you said, I think that's the way to go. And then as it gets better and better, it will actually probably do the photo estimates properly for you as well. But It's great. I'm glad to hear you using it. It's helping in your business.
Yeah, it helps with my confidence, you know? It makes me feel like I know what I'm talking about.
That's a good thing to hear.
Yeah.
Now, Michael, anything else I haven't asked you that I should ask you before we finish today?
Oh, no, not that I can think of. Yeah, just, really, really happy, enjoying the journey.
Well, I can tell you're really happy, mate. You haven't stopped smiling the whole interview, which is great for us to see. And I get a real kick out of it because I saw the name, but I didn't know your face. I remember having a good chat with you at training. So I'm really happy to hear how well it's been for you. Like, that gives us a lot of confidence in what we do, obviously with what we put out online. So I'm really happy to hear how well you've been doing and how successful you are so far. And looking forward to hopefully in a year or two, hearing how you're going and how your business is tracking along.
Yeah, definitely. I'd love to come back on and tell you all about it.
No worries, Michael. Well, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it. Thank you for listening to the episode of the More Than Just Mowing podcast by Jim's Mowing. If you do need help with your local gardening expert, please give us a call on 131 546 for Australia, 0800 454 654 for New Zealand, or head to jimsmowing.com.au or jimsmowing.co.nz. If you liked what you heard, please make sure you leave us a review as well, wherever you consume your podcast. We appreciate your support. And until next episode, we hope you have a great week.